I'm good. I'm always good.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Samora, and I'm with Dr. J, the Executive Director of the new seminary. And we're all on here today because today's the eighth day of the eighth month. And to many astrologers, it's considered to be a very powerful gateway, and it's even called the Lion's Gate portal. And what it represents is accelerated transformation. And basically, it's when the Earth and the brightest star, which is named Sirius, align. And Sirius is actually twice the size of our sun. So it's one of the highest levels of energy, and it happens during the month of August. And essentially, it's all about more fully awakening your divine light and embodying divinity within a physical form, which is what we are here to talk about today. So I'm going to open with a song, and then we will also share a prayer with you. So we will now open up the floor to Dr. J. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Gail. Gail
Good
is
morning,
with
Doc.
us.
Thank you for putting this together. You're stretching me beyond my normal. I appreciate that, having me do a pop up. And I want to thank everybody that's certainly online to see Reverend Dr. Samara, not me. Um, since you said you were talking about the star or planet Sirius, so I guess we have to be serious today, right? With a serious subject. And some of you may know from several posts or just through me personally that I walk in the woods a lot. And it's where I find peace, solace, and comfort and wisdom and direction in my life. Um, and so today I'd like to speak to you about encountering God through the wisdom of Howard Thurman and my wisdom interwoven in there, and how to find God just on your daily path. I think because in this fast, hurried pace, forever connected, illuminated, loud world, we forget how to find God. Let us bow our heads for, if you're inclined, for opening prayer. I ask the divine creative source of the universe to grant me the clarity and stillness of mind, to be open and receive the wondrous blessings that each second, minute, and day holds for me. I ask you to help me to empty my mind, heart, of any fears, of dark thoughts of the past, malice and judgments towards others, and worries about the future, so that I may fully live this day and walk the path to my highest purpose and be a blessing to all that I meet. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I have read Thurman slowly, Dr. Thurman, Howard Thurman, and continuously and repetitively over the years, because that's the only way that I think you can engage Thurman is to constantly revisit and slowly read him and let it take hold in you and marinate. And Dr. Samora and I were discussing the curriculum for the new seminary this year, the upcoming year, and we thought we would put this audio book in there, and but we've never done that before. And it's the Wisdom of Howard Thurman. It's chapter 2, and he speaks just about that, encountering God. And my thoughts initially were in reading this that it is in the mystery of life. And if you've ever called me and you got my voicemail, it says I'm out taking a leap into the mystery of creation. So it's in the mystery of life and how you experience it that we find our truth, whatever your truth is. And this truth is usually forged by the joy and pain along with along our path that determines the content of our life, just the content of our life. It's the joy and pain really that we let determine, and rightfully so, the content of our life. And it's our reaction to the experiences along this path that directs us to what Howard Thurman calls a door that never shuts. A door that never shuts. And we can choose to enter into this door or not. But it's by going into this door, entering through this door, that we find communion, not only with God, but all of creation. I should say with one source. That is my name for God. And it is there that you also see the divine signature in the whole of creation. This is where our truth is found. And there are several concepts. This is thick with Thurman, a little bit of me, but a door that never shuts. What do you think that is, Dr. Samora? Didn't mean to put you on the spot. I can't hear you. But the door that never shuts, to me, and if you put it with the other Thurman statement, the signature of God in the whole of creation, it means that creation is an open door for us at any point in time, should we choose to be in communion with God. To be in communion with God. So the whole of creation, that's everything in nature, everybody you meet, any situation or circumstance that you find yourself in, has the signature of God on it. And when you put your signature on a piece of paper, you are saying that I approve this, that this represents me. So I think that's what Dr. Thurman is saying, that there's a representative, or God is represented and manifested in each and every person and being that you encounter and circumstance that you find yourself in. And that you have to extract the lesson. I'm going to sound a little country now, the lesson and the blessing that's in that moment or in that thing. And you have to see yourself as the object. Now listen to this, the object in whatever interaction it is or circumstance, and those things that you encounter on your path in life as subjects. That's difficult. Do you think that's a difficult statement? It's my best way to explain what Dr. Thurman meant about this. If you are on your path and something pops up that triggers an emotion or a reaction in you, that's the subject and you're the object. And you have to find out why that subject triggered you and made you react less than or greater than, or out of your higher self. And so it's on your path in life that every time you move and encounter or interact, you have to do it from the mind and heart of God in communion with God. And this is where your truth will be found. So whatever that truth is, everybody's portal or door is different. How you enter it is different. I enter mine through walks in nature. That's where I do most of my critical thinking and make most of my critical decisions. So do you have any questions, Dr. Samora? Does anybody have any questions? Or is anybody online with us? I can't hear you. Did I lose you?
Sorry, I didn't even know that I was muted all that time.
All right.
So apologies to anyone listening. I wanted to respond to the door. What's fascinating is that, when we're born, our name is the signature of God, right? It's like, God knows our name, and we're here with a purpose. And just walking forward each day, taking one simple step is answering that purpose. It's a beautiful experience when you realize that the imprint is in everything, and that is really who we are. And
Exactly. And this is a mystical approach, but I think that we lend too much to that word. That's the state we were born in. Mystical to me simply means you're in communion. We're in communion with God and the whole of creation when we're born. We unlearn how not to be communion. Yeah, we learn how not to be in communion. And
yes.
Dr. Thurman, yeah, right. We learn from day one how not to be in communion, and we're taught not to be in communion with God. We're taught even in religious and spiritual communities, in institutions, we're taught to rely on a middleman, a formula to be in communion with God. Meditation is available to everybody, but how many books are written on the 5 point formula or plan to achieve oneness with all of creation, or the 12-point plan to do this, or the four truths to this and that? In this chapter, he says, and this is a very country statement, you don't have to go around Robin Hood's barn to get to the door that never shuts. It's right there, immediate, and you step right into it. That's a country statement. My father would understand that, being from Florida, and certainly lived, you know, right near Thurman, actually. Thurman
Wow.
spent a lot of his life in Jacksonville and on Amelia Island. But you don't have to go around Robin Hood's barn. The door never shuts. The door is everywhere. I kind of was watching Loki last night.
Oh, Loki.
Yeah. Strange I would mention it in this context, but it was about time traveling, and there's always a portal or a door that you could step into, and it made that statement by Dr. Thurman Service. He has this quote: "There were times when it seemed as if the earth and the river and the sky and I were one beat of the same pulse. It was a time of watching and waiting for what I did not know, yet I always knew there would come a moment when beyond the single pulse beat, there was a sense of presence which seemed always to speak to me. There was no voice, there was no image, there was no vision. There was God."
Hmm. Say
Yeah,
it
but
again. Say it again.
say it again, sister.
Wait, I wanted to share what Gail said earlier.
Okay.
Our dear Reverend Dr. Gail says, when we express I am, we sign God's name on our expression.
Uh oh. Say it again.
Say it
See,
again.
Samora and I joke about certain preaching styles, and when somebody says something good, we invite them to join an exclusive club. Gail, say it again. Welcome to the club. You have to
Yeah,
write that down and post it somewhere, Gail, for our students, and use that one.
we need to say it again t-shirt for sure.
Yeah, we do. We'll do that. There was a quote that resonated very much with me, um, and I'll give a bit of testimony here because it spoke to me in a way that related to healing, an ongoing process of healing in my life from some challenge last year. And in going through this challenge, your doctors assess where you are and how it's going to go. And, they were not 100% sure that I would take to treatments or whatever. But this quote here says, when the disease of my body tightens its grip, and when the doctor picks up the broken lance of his skill and knowledge and takes his leave, there's only God. There's only God. And that's true, that there is only God after all, when it's all said and done. In most of these situations, and if that's the realization of a mystic, then all of us are there. We just have to be open to it. We have to, remove the jaundice from our eyes. We have to unmute the voice of God within and out and chisel away the callus that surrounds our heart that we allow to accumulate there, build up over the years. And it's easier said than done, but it's still not that hard. Just find a new way of thinking that puts God at the core of whatever you do or think or say. We're not saying that you have no free will. We're not saying that you cannot do things on your own. You can choose, but the outcomes, in my opinion, may not be of the best and highest. Are there any comments, Dr. Samora?
Yeah, I mean, we imagine, what is it that, breaks us away from that consciousness? I often think about even my choice to join seminary, and right as that portal, I'll even, because the door is always open, right? So right as that portal opened, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. My friend unfortunately decided to take his own life.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things started to happen the second that I made this decision to, really answer this purpose and open myself to God. And in many cases, people said, well, how are you handling this? You have these young children and all these losses happening in your life. And I had this still small voice that just kept reminding me that this is life. This is God. This is happening. Disease is really just, we break that word down to dis-ease. It's just not being with as one. And I was able to gracefully and reverently allow myself to accept the cycle of life, that yes, we will pass on, and we will, our reality will change. Our attachments, will teach us valuable lessons. And oftentimes it's through the pain, like you started out with that today, speaking of how our pain is oftentimes our greatest gift, because it really brings us to our truth.
Say it again.
And this is something that I'm actually grateful when something challenges me. I look at it as a just as a, like, a reminder that I'm alive, and life is meant to be received and lived. And honestly, this is where I have been led to at this time.
Mm-hmm. That's a profound place to be. It's there that you find the vitality that you need also. And Dr. Thurman touches on this a bit, that you get to a place where fear is no longer something that prevents you from growing. And it's through this type of thought process and approach that you do actually grow. There's the one thing that he said, and I really want everybody to get this point, is that we are all victims in life. We're all victims in life, that things happen that are beyond our control. But what we can control is how we respond, is our reaction to the things that we can't control. he went on to say God could have made him better looking, but he used tools to produce what he was. Abraham Lincoln said that God could have made him more handsome. He was right about that. I'm joking.
I mean,
But
I have a funny story because I was watching, well, no, actually, it was an audio of Rabbi Gelberman, the founder of the New Seminary, and he said that all of us when we're born, we're assigned an angel, and the angel will ask you, do you want to be, tall or do you want to be great? And the reason why he said this is that he definitely chose to be great and to be good because he was standing at the podium and nobody could see him.
I love that. He was funny, but there
he
was
was
always a story in that humor, you know. And
he was great. And oh, let me share, because Jackie, our Reverend Jackie, has shared a comment that said, when we live in the love of others, we will always be open to the will of God.
mm,
And then she says, we will always be in communion with God.
say
Thank
it
you, Jackie.
again.
Say it
Say it again. Welcome to the club, Jackie.
again.
Me, you, Gioni, Reverend Dr. Samora, and Reverend Gale now. Reverend Dr. Gale, yes.
Yes,
All right.
our list is growing.
Yes. So, one time I was on Miami Beach, and I've told this story before to some folks, and um, I was there for my first party weekend, I guess, after being out of the dating scene for a while. And I was sitting at a bar called the Clevelander on Highway 1 right there on Miami Beach. And I was trying to decide what my agenda would be for those couple of days. And I heard these two guys speaking about the Brazilian ladies that would play volleyball on this particular beach, spot at the beach. And my ears kind of perked up, and I said, Brazilian girls play volleyball. Note to self, this is where we shall go to reflect tomorrow morning. So I got up and went on to the beach to do my Tai Chi and workout and everything, and hopefully see some Brazilians playing volleyball, but I didn't. And it was this stream of light that caught my eye. The Brazilian women just left my mind. And it was just, I've been to the ocean a million times, but this particular stream of light just seemed to flow and stream right across the water to me. And I looked at it as though it was a personal invitation for God for me to just step right into the day without fear. Think about it. I'm on Highway 1 on the beach, right across from all the restaurants and bars, early in the morning. Very few people out there. It's like I had the beach all to myself. And I thought about walking my path and what a day, how to live my day. What was I there for? Was I there to party? Was I on Miami Beach to find myself? What was I down there for? And I realized that I was there for another reason. I thought I could go there and reinvent myself in a way and find a new Jay. But the problem is that I had to get rid of the old Jay first. The reason most people don't have good vacations is because they take themselves there. They don't leave the person that prevents them from stepping fully into a situation. And I wrote this affirmation. It says, today is my day. It is a symphony. I am the conductor of this symphony. I control this symphony from beginning to end. There will be no discordant notes in my symphony. My daily symphony will end blended and harmonious with the setting sun. If you see yourself in charge of your day, meaning you're the conductor, and you determine the beat, the pulse, the notes, the tenor of that symphony, it gives you a paradigm from which to operate where you seize control and meter your reactions to things that life hurls at you on your daily path. And it's really on the daily path that we're tested. I think we all can envision or think about the big thing that happens, the big test that happens, illness, death, finances, but it's through the daily, mundane beat of life that we are most challenged. And that's where we have to focus and direct our control, to seize control and meter our reactions and responses to situations in it. And we've all heard most of this that I presented today in many different ways, but I think Dr. Thurman puts it in such a neat box that you can take them as tools to use and maybe have a paradigm shift in terms of how you approach your day. And you just need to step out of the mind and heart of God from that door that never closes into your day. And I think that you will find that you will have more control. And then the things that you discern will be truer. Dr. Thurman goes on to warn us that there's nothing more dangerous than the man that thinks that he heard the secret correctly and he builds his life on it. He went on to say that it can take 30 years to prove if that secret or what you heard is correct. But what the mystics do is they go back time and time again and go within and revisit it and focus on it. And he said sometimes you have to look at yourself from a distance and observe yourself. Observe yourself. And so I'd like to bring it to a close here. I think that's a good place to leave it. And I'm open for
Yes,
any.
share a song.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you all for tuning in or signing in or.
Yes, thank you for being here with us today. And I just want to say, the new seminary is celebrating its 40th year this year. And if any of you feel called to learn more about the program, please, reach out to Dr. J. And the email to reach us is thenewseminary@gmail.com. And we will close out today with
one thing.
Yes.
And certainly those of you that are out there that are alums, feel free to do a pop-up. All you have to do is contact Reverend Dr. Samora. We love it. And we'd like to start a trend here. Reverend Dr. Gail, Reverend Dr. Jackie.
Yes, please. Let's commune on here and share our love with all who, really would benefit from hearing from us.
I wish we could live forever, then melt into the sun, melt into the sun. Time is gonna change you, want to get you on the run, get you on the run. There will be a light. 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 I've been running ever since I was a child. Some call it free, and some call it wild. There will be a light. There will be a light. There will be a light. Oh, there will be a light. In the warmth of my love. fear not, for I am with you. I will fear not with you. There will be a light. 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 There will be a
There will be a light right above that door, the door that never shuts. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Yes. God bless.